welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So it's Ultimate Spider-Man time. Woo! I can't believe we got to this point because I was like, oh man, what fun adventure are we going to check up on Peter Parker with today? It's Ultimatum. Oh no. I've run out of trade paperbacks. This is the last one I own. I need to go get more.
Oh.
Uh-oh. But that's okay because...
You stopped buying them?
No. I bought them in floppies when they were coming out.
Oh.
And then much later on, I ended up like supplementing them with trade paperbacks. And especially with the runs that I didn't have. You know, I was reading it month to month from one point to another, but before that point, I needed the trade paperbacks. And then I was just getting the trade paperbacks as well, and now we're here. Where I have all the issues in floppies, but I'm not going to pull them all out. It's going to be a mess.
Right, it'll be a whole thing.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not really sure what's collected where. I just got to go.
Right, you don't know which ones constitute volume 23.
Exactly.
Oh, no, it says it.
Some of them do. But like, Marvel is going to do something really stupid, and for the life of me, I don't know why, where Ultimate Spider-Man is eventually going to make a switch over to a title called Ultimate Comics: Spider-Man. And people are going to go, what the absolute hell is this? And it'll start with issue 1. And then,
No!
Yeah, and it's not. But then they're going to switch back over to Ultimate
Probably because
Spider-Man.
people were like, oh, people did not like that.
No, and I think it's because they were also like, after Ultimatum, they thought maybe things would kind of like coalesce. And instead, people just read their books. You know, like, I was never going to read the Ultimates. Especially after Ultimates 3. I was like, I'm never going to read this book ever.
This is depressing.
It's bad. And then there was Ultimate X-Men, which I was like, yeah, maybe. Like, I'll bomb in every once in a while, but like, I'm not going to read it religiously like this book, and nothing you can do will do that. And that includes Bendis, who was like, yeah, I'm not playing. I know what happens when you do. And so that's what this is, because I don't know why Marvel was like, we need to shake up this franchise.
I mean, maybe they thought they could bring new readers in by like, oh, now it's issue 1.
Well,
so you're not missing anything.
That's what issue 1s do.
Except you are.
But I'm talking about Ultimatum and like why they hit the Marvel Universe with a big wave, and then had random characters eating other characters and had just a bunch of crap, which I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
We're matching the dark, edgy nature of the youth today.
Yeah, I guess so. That sucks. Except nobody liked it. No one was like, oh man, this is right where I'm at. Yeah, this scratches me right where I'm at.
That's how I like to escape my terrible life, by reading terrible lives of comics.
Yeah, what if the terribleness of my life was exaggerated and inflated and happened to characters with superpowers?
Like, was it like a response to September 11th?
Yeah, we're reacting to...
destroying the city. And...
Yeah. Here's a thought exercise. Let's say that you're the largest comic book publisher, and you set your whole universe essentially in Manhattan. And 9/11 happens. Do you approximate 9/11 using a fictitious scenario that does a 9/11 to the Marvel Universe, but isn't specifically 9/11?
Right.
Or do you have 9/11 happen in the Marvel Universe?
Right.
And have that affect the heroes that way?
And also have it where, like, the heroes couldn't do anything.
Right. You have to.
Right, because it happened.
Because it did
therefore
happen.
They weren't able to do anything.
Right. What's more tasteful? I think neither is tasteful.
Yeah.
But I think
well, they did both, right? Because they did.
The main universe did 9/11.
Did 9/11, and
the Ultimate Universe did a big wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think reflecting what happened is more tasteful. Being like, no, this actually happened. It affects people's lives, and it's going to affect the superheroes' lives as well.
See, I agree, but I find that people would definitely say that it's exploiting 9/11 for story potential in your universe. But I'm like, yeah, but isn't any moment in history that's being used for fiction also exploitation?
Right.
And does that mean that we can't mine history?
Yeah, we're not going to reference Vietnam.
Right.
We're not going to reference the Gulf War because like people died.
Good Morning Vietnam. Really? Was it a good morning, Robin? I think not.
That's a little exploitative, don't you think?
There are people who are watching this movie who remember Vietnam. Because we made all our Vietnam movies like 5 years after it ended. Yeah, which one's worse? Or better?
Oh, no, I don't know. Neither. I guess go with what happened because you already have history, real history in the Marvel Universe. So
yeah,
don't
it's not like
it.
we started with the Marvel Universe and was like, oh, and slavery was never a thing in the US.
Right, we're changing
just didn't have
everything.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
no, you initially didn't change anything.
Right,
so
exactly.
The only things you changed were like part of your stories.
Yeah.
So I think you do have to incorporate it
Yeah.
in some way.
I think in the Ultimate Universe, they more or less just say 9/11 happened, but it was over there.
Right.
You're like, look, we're not drawing the Twin Towers. You know, we're not going to say it didn't happen, but we're also not going to show Spider-Man reacting to it, which we absolutely will do in Amazing Spider-Man,
Yes.
which they did. And I don't blame them for doing it. I knew when I read it wasn't going to age well, and I don't care because I remember it. And I was like, yeah, they needed it. It was cathartic, and it provided some much needed comfort from escapist fiction. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Is it silly that Doctor Doom cries?
Yes.
But
maybe just don't even include
is it one
Dr.
panel?
Doom.
Like, it's one panel. It's not like it's one page
Yeah.
of Doom just weeping openly
Right,
into
it's
his
just like
hands.
a blink and you miss it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have left that out.
I would have cut it out.
I wouldn't show the villains at all, maybe.
Right. Well, because I think they were
just
like,
kind
I
of,
got to
what do you
address
do?
it. Because then it's like, well,
Yeah.
but what about the villains? Like, they're always trying to do this.
Right, do they approve?
Right. Will they be cheering? Like, maybe no one's asking.
Yeah. You know what? Can we all just agree that we wouldn't ask?
Yes. I think we can all
I think
agree.
we'd let you get away with it.
Is it
if you
better
didn't
than
depict.
Dr. Doom rubbing his hands together being like, yes, those plans worked.
Yeah,
I
right.
had
I
a
mean,
hand in this.
I mean, it's definitely better than that. You
It's
can't
better
do
than
that. That's
Doom did
horrible.
9/11. That's worse. But I also love that it was in an Amazing Spider-Man issue because it's like Spider-Man can't stop 9/11,
Right.
and he didn't know about it. Like, he arrives as they're falling, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, I'll save people from up to, oh, it's too late.
right. You know, the Rhino was uptown, and he was just like,
Right.
I didn't know.
It was like, well, the firefighters have it. They didn't know what was going to happen.
he didn't even know
Just
what
like
was
nobody knew
happening.
what was gonna
I mean,
happen,
I think
It doesn't have like a CB radio.
no, I think the concept was like, you know, it's just we didn't know, and neither did he. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Boom. But Amazing Spider-Man isn't necessarily even in continuity.
Yeah.
Like, the issue that they covered isn't really written to be part of the story. The
Okay.
entire cover is black, and
Right, it's
used
just
a lot
about
more-
that event. It's not about.
It's
like,
not about the
Green
main
Goblin and
story.
crap,
Yeah, there's no gratuitous tease to the next story. It's all self-contained. And again, the characters act out of character. You know, like, just that happened, and we can acknowledge that it did happen in the New York of the Marvel Universe. Moving on.
Yeah, but didn't Marvel also reference 9/11 in Civil War, and it was like horrible?
No, they.
Oh.
Well, okay. First of all, it's written by Mark Miller, so it's going to be horrible. But secondly, that's what defeated Captain America.
Yeah.
Well, only because Mark Miller is making a point about like emergency workers and the true heroes of, you know, America, and how Captain America's war against Tony Stark was, you know, thoughtless and short-sighted. And
So you don't think he was explicitly using like 9/11
he was
style
definitely
imagery?
doing that.
Oh, okay.
Civil War is more exploitative, yes, because Mark Miller deliberately uses 9/11 imagery to make a point about Captain America, the character,
Right.
and not about the world. Although, I mean, you could argue that, yes, like, he's talking about like a post 9/11 America, you know, I mean, about civil liberties and couched
it's more
into
about, like, the
Civil War.
aftermath, maybe.
It's about the aftermath, but also it's like never forget. Like, the postscript to Civil War is never forget. But like, forget what?
Right, because you're not talking about like jihadist terrorists.
No, you're talking
You're
about
talking about something else.
You're talking about Captain America fighting against like tyrannical government oversight,
Yeah.
and then saying that like that's a slippery slope and could cause another 9/11 or whatever it is you're trying to say with that is just not worth saying.
Yeah, maybe just don't.
It's why no one really talks about it. Like, people go, Civil War, one of the greatest Marvel events ever. Yeah, how's that end? Oh, you know, Captain America dies. Yeah, in a Captain America book. No, Captain America's tackled by an EMT worker, a firefighter, a policeman, and a regular person.
Yeah.
Hey, see something, say something.
That's
Or tackle
amazing.
Captain America.
You got Captain. Ultimate Spider-Man is, of course, written by Brian Michael Bendis, as all good Ultimate Spider-Mans are, outside of the current era where they are written by Jonathan Hickman, and they're crazy and good,
Oh,
but
yeah?
not the same. Different universe. One day we'll talk about it.
Wait. Didn't the Ultimate Universe go away?
Yes. Twice, as a matter of fact. and
Okay.
has come back multiple times.
Okay.
Because, of course, Ultimatum was a sign that the Ultimate Universe has more or less run its course, as far as Marvel was concerned. We needed a bunch of flashy, showy, indie-esque creators to help prop up our dwindling sales, and we needed to create a whole new universe in order to help streamline that. But now that we are back on top, we don't care about the Ultimate Universe.
Hey, we got our fans back. Let's
you.
cancel their books.
Well, and we could also take those creators that helped create that universe and bring them over to the real universe.
Right.
And they'll be so grateful. They'll be like, oh, the stuff I do matters now.
That's right. I don't necessarily agree, but it is correct. And so Ultimate Universe was on its way out anyway. And so as it just became more and more irrelevant until Brian Michael Bendis invented Miles Morales, and even then it was only relevant for Ultimate Spider-Man and nobody else. Because I don't think there were any Ultimate books even being published at that time anymore. Yes, by the time Hickman was like, I'm gonna kill everybody, they had 2 universes left, the main 616 universe and the Ultimate 1610 universe, and they were like, we're gonna smash them together, and then everyone's gonna die, and then Doctor Doom's gonna fix everything. And they did that, and then Bendis was like, well, since I kind of created the Ultimate Universe, I should be able to kill it, and I'm soon going to go to DC, because Bendis is coming. And so he wrote his end of the Ultimate Universe, where the 616 and the 1610 universe like fought and dealt with each other and then exploded. And then that was largely ignored by everybody else.
Oh.
And like the aftermath still happened, like the universes blew up, but all the stuff in between it that Bendis did, no one else regarded or addressed. So that technically happened, but also could very easily not.
Well, you could sweep it under the rug.
Easily. And they did. And then Donny Cates came on the scene to work for Marvel and was like, I love the Ultimate Universe, I want to bring it back, and made it like a linchpin of many of his stories. Most of it was an undercurrent being like, one day they're going to let me have the Ultimate Universe and I'm going to bring it back.
It's going to be great.
And then he didn't do that and went away. And so...
He probably kept being like, come on, we're going to have it. Let's bring it back.
Like, oh, next year. No.
Someday.
Yeah. Someday, maybe. Nope.
Just dangling the carrot in front of his face?
Yeah. So that didn't happen. And then Al Ewing also teased bringing it back. Like it's almost come back a bunch of times. And then they relaunched the Ultimate Universe, or rather Ultimate Marvel Comics, with new books, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Spider-Man, the Ultimates, but that ain't these guys. That's a new universe.
New Ultimate Universe.
Totally new Ultimate Universe that is not these characters. Bendis did do a sequel to Spider-Man, aptly named Spider-Man 2, and we did that episode, and in that book's conclusion, Bendis is like, oh, after Secret Wars, the Ultimate Universe was restored, and everything that I wrote and I liked still happened and survived. And it's over there, and there's nothing you can do about it. And no one addressed it again, or
Did he?
Bendis left.
Yeah,
that was like one of the last things he did.
To do
Okay, it's just like,
anything with
here,
it.
it's all back. You can play with it if you want.
Yes, the Ultimate Universe technically is still dead. Or not.
Or technically is not still dead, but effectively is still dead.
Yeah.
Except as a different universe that just has the same name, but is not the same.
And also, there are adjacent Ultimate Universes. Like, we've never seen many different Ultimate Universes, but the one that Donny Cates teased suggested that it was the Ultimate Universe, but flies in the face completely with the Ultimate Universe that Bendis also restored in Spider-Man 2. So those are arguably 2 different Ultimate Universes.
Right.
And neither of them are the real Ultimate Universe, nor are they the new Ultimate Universe.
Maybe stop using the word ultimate to describe your universe.
But I want to poach readers who remember
Fondly
it.
remember, yeah, the Ultimate Universe. I want to. The Ultimate brand is
Has
now a
nostalgia
thing.
now.
Yep. So we gotta capitalize on that.
Yeah.
So
But-
yeah, Ultimate now is just anything that's not the main universe.
Yes. And also suggests that it harkens to a continuity that includes like Wolverine's son or Miles, except Miles was brought into the main
isn't he in
universe.
the main universe?
And they've made multiple attempts to either retcon he always was or establish that he never was. And they've done both, and arguably the best one is the one where he came from another universe. And the Molecule Man warped reality to make sure that the 616 universe made room for Miles and his supporting cast. And that's it. Because there's a retcon, I believe it's Secret Invasion they tried to retcon it in. Not that it happened during Secret Invasion because Miles didn't exist then, but rather that Miles became Spider-Man during Secret Invasion. And I'm like, nope. And everyone else is like, nope. And then we just didn't do that.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, that sucks.
So if you're the Molecule Man and you bring over Miles and his family,
Yes,
presumably.
like his dead mother.
Right.
She's just not anymore, and never was. But Miles remembers.
What about, like, his grandparents? Are there gravestones for them? Or is it like, I'm gonna go, never mind?
I assume that Molecule Man created a ripple effect where everyone else, like Miles is Ultimate. That Miles is from the Ultimate Universe. And the maker essentially confirms it. Like, he's like, let me just check my dial here. There's only one other blip. There's 2 dots. One's me, and the other one's that guy. And that's Miles. But no one else is Ultimate. So
Okay.
everyone else, like his father, his mother, Genki,
Just a fabrication.
those are 616 counterparts of the Ultimate supporting cast.
Okay.
So as far as Miles is concerned, it's like jumping realities of the Rick.
But
Like,
does that
those
mean,
are not my parents. Those are 616 equivalents of my parents.
Right.
Or,
But they think they're my parents, so what difference does it make?
who cares?
so, like, what happened to Miles then? Was there ever a Miles?
In
In our universe.
Bendis did create a 616 Miles Morales, and we already covered that episode. But let's just say no, because it's less complicated and crappy. But there was a 616 Miles Morales. It's not the same guy, nor are they related.
That's right.
Nor are his parents Miles' actual parents. Like they're
Right, so what's
not
even the
related.
point of
it's
that?
Just, it was just dumb and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you're not killing Miles.
Yeah, and you're not undoing all the history that no one would remember except for Miles.
Yeah.
Because his mother doesn't remember being eaten by Venom. His father doesn't remember any of that. And Genki doesn't remember being Ultimate. There's none of that. The only one who does is Miles.
Right. They just remember, I guess, the normal stuff.
They remember
The
all
normal
the,
non-Spider-Man stuff.
They remember all their lives as they would have occurred in the
If they
616
had
universe.
existed in the
So
six-
Genki gets to remember like the last time Galactus attacked and some other random
though he
616
never
events, even though he never even
did.
encountered him. Although he did technically, because there was, and actually it was the same Galactus, because there is an Ultimate event where real Galactus goes to the Ultimate Universe. And I was like, what a cool idea. Oh, this book sucks. Damn it. How'd you drop that ball? I was like, so hyped. Because they tried it. They tried to make Galactus. It was Galactus. And it was like a translation. I'm like, get the hell out of here. And then real Galactus shows up and he's like, this looks tasty. And they're like,
That's horrifying.
we're supposed to be so relevant and contemporary. I don't know how to wrap my brain around this big purple guy.
Everything's supposed to be real.
Yeah, and he's just like, and I'm dopey Jack Kirby creation Galactus, and I'm scary in my reality, and while you might make fun of my pants, I am gonna eat you.
Right.
My Lovecraftian existential horror will still follow me. You'll get with the program eventually.
How great would it be if, like, he just morphed into some giant Leviathan kind of thing?
Right, they're like, I can't wrap my head around you. He's like, okay, how about this?
And they're like,
I mean, that's what he does, and that's more or less what he did in the real Ultimate version of Galactus.
so long as it's not some weird black cloud.
Nope, nobody likes that.
No. Terrible.
So in this, it starts off relatively normal enough. There's a prelude in this that involves introducing Ultimate Mysterio, and that's kind of fun because, of course, Ultimate Mysterio is actually 616 Mysterio who is moving between realities.
Right,
and
I remember that.
Ultimate Mysterio is actually like a robot that Mysterio proper is puppeting between dimensional realities.
Oh, weird.
But we don't know that until Spider-Man. But anyway, let's ignore that. It is drawn by David LaFuente, and so it looks like this weird manga.
It's like
Yeah.
oddly flat.
I hate it so much. It's not horrible, but it's nothing like Bagley or Immonen.
Yeah.
And it is such a
jarring.
severe shift. And it happens that LaFuente will take over as regular penciler for this series when it switches over to Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. So not only does this book have the unenviable task of resetting in numerical fashion, but also in title fashion and art fashion. So you're like, I think I'm gonna drop this now. Like, I can't imagine that any of the decisions you made trying to increase sales did anything but the opposite. But we're not going to focus on that right now. What we need to focus on instead is that Johnny Storm is on another date with a pop star.
Why do we care?
Because Johnny Storm is a regular supporting cast member of the Spider-Man book.
He's now part of Spider-Man.
He's a Spider-Man character now.
As of like the last issue.
Because the Fantastic Four and the Ultimate Universe got weird and complicated, and they're like, I'm just going to take Johnny. Because I don't want Johnny to turn into a being of pure light or a villain with a big helmet. So let's just stick with this. So Johnny's on a date with a pop star, and it's the same pop star he was on a date with the last time we saw Johnny on a date with anybody in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Wow. 2 dates in a row.
Yeah, but he hates her, and
form.
she's too vacuous and uninteresting, and she's so
yeah,
focused
I remember
on
that.
like her brand, and so they're out at like a public restaurant, and they're talking about like their relevance and their brands, and she calls it her Q.
What?
Her brand is Q.
No. What your Q rating is.
Oh, you're...
And he's like, what is that? And she's like, you know what a Q rating is. You're Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is a Q rating. I, pop star so-and-so, have a Q rating as well. And that rating can be used to, like, I don't know, leverage money and make algorithmic decisions based on social media.
I'm confused. Is the rating Q?
The
Like,
letter
could I
Q.
be an R or a P?
No.
No, it's
But
the
the
Q
the
The
system.
Q represents the rating system.
Oh, okay. So the Q is like, you're a 9.2.
Yeah.
On the Q
Yeah,
scale.
your Q is
Whatever
this
the
value.
numerical value might be.
And it's monitored and tracked by what exactly?
Oh, by Hollywood Monsters.
Okay.
You know, it's whatever.
So it's this like it's like
an
your credit
ethereal
rating.
concept. Yeah, it is so much like your credit rating. It's not even funny because it's invented very recently, but by people who institutionalized it so that you don't question how short it has existed, and it determines your status far greater than it ever should.
Yeah, and it's like
And, like,
privately owned.
Oh yes,
Any
and it's
mistakes
also
that happen on
arbitrary.
it will be there for a long time.
Right, but also, at least with the Q rating, they can be expunged, but with a tweet.
Okay.
So she gets up to leave for the bathroom and invites Johnny to order for her. She says, you can get whatever you want, I don't eat.
What?
So Johnny picks up, because she's a pop star.
I see.
So Johnny immediately calls Peter. Peter is macking it with Mary Jane in his place. He answers the phone, the Hall of Justice, how may I help you? And Johnny is like, I need you.
What?
I presume that the Super Friends was a cartoon show that Peter was too young
he's
to
making a
remember, but
joke.
references.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what this show is.
And that's what Peter is.
That's what Peter is.
Yeah.
A big, stupid joke. No. And he's like, why are you calling? Is this the same pop star you were on a date with before? He's like, yeah. They're like, why? Is it
You
because I'm
already
weak?
knew how vacuous she was.
But she's so hot, though.
I see.
So Johnny's like, all right, I need you to call me in 5 minutes so I can get out of this date. Because it is a mistake. I hate it.
Yep.
And
I'm not going on anymore. This is the last one.
yeah, Mary
She's
Jane
in
is,
the bathroom. Just tell the
leave.
waiter.
Yeah.
Hey, let her know I had an emergency. I had to go.
Yeah. Nah, I want to make a
No.
big show of it. And Mary Jane
She's
is
not
like,
going to believe it
Yeah.
unless it happens.
Yeah, it's got to
in front
be
of her.
like there's a phone call. Like, I got an actual phone. It's a real phone call.
maybe, I mean, that also, but maybe Johnny's playing 3D chess. Like, maybe he's like, I want to help her out. You know what I mean? Like, she's so concerned. If I burst into flames and fly away, that'll really help her brand.
Oh.
He doesn't
okay.
say any of that, and he is, like, put off by her vacuousness, but let's give him a credit. Let's
Well,
give
and
him a
it's
little
like
credit.
it's a plausible excuse for him.
Sure.
You know, whereas like just leaving is like, did you really have an emergency? I didn't see you flame on.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not going to flame on in the restaurant.
Right, no, like, she's just gonna check all the tweets afterwards.
Right.
And the tweets are gonna reveal Johnny just got up, paid the bill, and then walked calmly out the door.
Right.
No, you still like tell the waiter, be like,
got
something
an
came up, I have to go.
emergency.
You do, you flame on, you leave.
I guess you could do that.
You do it outside.
Then he flame off like 2 blocks down.
Yeah, but then he'd have to be like, he'd have to call her and be like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
I had
no,
to leave.
this is easier
It's
if I could
easier
just
if I
ghost her. If I just flame on and ghost her.
Oh, then you forget her number? Sorry, that phone that I had wasn't
Burst in
fireproof.
flames! Yeah. So Anyway.
They don't call it a burner for nothing.
So he hangs up, nice. And they're like, that was horrible. Mary Jane's like, that's a terrible thing to do. Like, don't do that. That said, I don't like that pop star, so you may do that. But
One time only.
I think that's gross. Like what you did. Like just own it. Just say you don't like her and leave.
People do that all the time, Mary Jane. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people are
Girls
always
are
honest
known
about
for
their
that.
opinions.
Mary Jane is not like other girls.
I guess.
So anyway, they're asking where Gwen is because they're like, hey, we're kind of off. What's going on? Gwen Stacy is alive again, you
Right.
know, obviously after the War of the Symbiotes. And so she lives with Aunt May because her mother wants nothing to do with her and her father's dead. And so Aunt May is trying to get her re-enrolled at school. And
That must
yeah,
be tough.
so
She's legally dead.
right. So they're now at the principal's office. Aunt May's talking to the principal, and the principal's like, "So, let me see if I can parse your very well-crafted letter here that says that one of our former students who died, who has a certificate of death, is no longer dead, and it's certified by S.H.I.E.L.D. and a personal recommendation letter from Tony Stark, who, as I understand it, is Iron Man." She's like, yep. And he's like, and why does Iron Man know you or give a shit about this blonde girl? And May's like, oh yeah, well, like, you know, it's because it happened on my lawn. He's like, that's true, it did. Now, you have to understand that my school is a nightmare because Spider-Man goes here. We all know that at this point. And now a girl who's friends with your son has a letter from Tony Stark. So your son is Spider-Man.
Oh no.
Or your nephew. And Aunt May just keeps deflecting and pushing off, like, just, like, look, I'm as swept up in this as you are. And the
Right.
principal essentially just breaks down and is like, you know, they had a meeting the other day about closing this place. Because, like, every other week it blows
It's
up.
insane.
It's just,
Yeah.
The repair bills alone.
yeah.
Whoever Spider-Man is just going to go to school somewhere else, and then the problem will just move there.
Right, and then
Yeah,
it's
but
not
he's
my
like,
problem.
but it's not my
Closing
problem.
the school can't. Well, that's true.
Yeah. So the principal essentially just wraps it up by being like, how am I supposed to explain this? Like, when other students tell their parents that they're going to
Right.
school with a ghost, I just tell them, oh, well, just read this letter from Tony Stark.
Right. That says no.
It says,
it's cool.
no, actually, she's not dead. And Amy's like, just that she never died. They made a mistake. And they're like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to get fired anyway, so I don't care.
None of this
I
matters.
just wanted to yell at somebody. And I feel like you might actually be raising Spider-Man, so yeah.
Right. Also, I don't want to deal with Shield.
I really don't. Yeah, can you
So-
imagine this principal being like, absolutely not, get out. And then Tony Stark is the next person to walk through the door being like, excuse
Right.
me, yeah, I just bought this school.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think you can do that. It's a public school. It's like, yeah, I bought the town.
Yeah, but I bought it.
I bought all the land around it.
Yeah.
and
Therefore, I get what's
so
underneath it.
I'm the only one in town who owns any property.
I didn't realize it was
Drainage! Pete and Mary Jane are true to their word. The pop star sits down. Phone rings. Johnny picks it up. He goes, Dr. New's back! Oh no! And then flames on and then leaves.
Nice.
She's like, oh, that would have made page 6. So while Johnny's flying away, he's really kicking his own ass about what a jackass he was. And that was pathetic.
Yep.
I'm Johnny Storm, the world
I should
famous Fantastic Four.
just tell the truth.
I should just tell the truth, but I'm not. And then he bumps into the Vulture. The
Oh.
Vulture's just stealing, I don't know,
Children?
documents.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like old newspapers.
Right? I think they're like bonds or something because they have like official seals on them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like his personal paperwork they had to get to in like downtown. I gotta file my taxes.
Oh no! Yeah, because while I am a murderer and I have committed industrial espionage, I really don't want the IRS on my ass. So
They don't forget.
Anyway, so Johnny's like, "Hey, old bald guy, what do you want? What are you doing?" And then the Vulture attacks him. And he's like, "Are you attacking me? Like, what the crap? Like,
I made a fire. What
yeah,
are you gonna
like,
do?
I'm not
You have a
Spider-Man." So the Vulture throws a couple of grenades at him and just tries to escape, but he can't. And Johnny expertly gets in his way. But while Vulture tries to escape from him, Spider-Woman swings in and kicks him in the face. Spider-Woman, of course, being Peter Parker's clone,
Right.
who was experimented on and made into this.
Yep.
What's her name in this?
Jessica Drew, which
Okay.
is Spider-Woman's name in the 616 universe, but also has no affiliation whatsoever with Peter Parker.
But in that universe, she's not a clone. In this one, she is.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct. She's a totally different character.
Completely
just
different.
Has the same
They
name.
just went with the name.
She has the same.
Like, look,
person
if we
name and
try and
same
name her
superhero
something
name,
else,
that's it.
Yes.
it's not going to work.
It's not even the same powers.
Yeah. different
Jessica Drew
power
doesn't even have that same power set. So, anyway, Johnny watches as Jessica Drew just picks apart Vulture, like rips off his anti-gravity flying pack, and then just makes a monkey of a vulture. And
now he's a flying monkey.
That's right. No, not anymore. So Vulture falls to Earth, and Johnny's like, hey,
baby,
what's up? And Spider-Woman's like, no! Because she has all of Peter's memories. She's not switched. So she's just Peter in a girl's body, and Johnny's like, what's up? She's like, no! And he's like, wait, come back. And so he chases after her, and he's like, so, do you know who? And she's like, oh my God, please go away.
Make this stop.
And he's like, come on, like, are you Spider-Man's cousin or something? And she's just like, kind of, please leave.
In a matter of speaking.
And then she swings away. He's like, where are you going? Now that's girlfriend material. And I'm like, oh, Johnny.
Oh, boy.
This is a fun concept that Bendis is like, I am not going to shy away from this idea.
Nope, I'm
not going to shy away from this concept where Johnny has to face his own sexuality in some way. Where Johnny's like, wait, it's you, but a girl? Am I attracted to you? What's the difference between you and her? Is it only boobs? Oh, no! Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, I
It's
guess.
fun. It's also kind of like, what?
Well, it's also like a horror movie for
For her.
/ him.
Right, because she's like, am I a heterosexual boy in a woman's body?
Right.
Or how much of me has been changed? I don't know. Am I a different person?
What does it mean to have the memories of a
heterosexual boy in a woman's body? I don't know.
I mean, if you just want to talk about, like, never mind that, Spider-Man was a boy and this is a woman's body.
Right.
Just the fact of, like, your memories being put into another body of any kind is like, raises all kinds of issues.
I've had that question just with the respect of transplants.
Yeah.
You're just like getting a hand transplant and just knowing that this hand is no longer your hand.
But
it becomes yours.
Yes, but like every time, like I know it like the back of my hand. It's a colloquial we've had for 100 years or more, where it's like I know my hand. I'm looking at a hand. It's not mine anymore. Whose hand is it? Was it ever mine? That. Like,
does the hand ever pop off at night and do its own thing?
No, I don't have an idle hands horror fantasy, but I also it adds that body dysmorphia question.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much is
Theseus?
Theseus, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, the ship of Theseus.
Right.
Conundrum. No, it's not like the ship of Theseus. It's more just like, am I myself? I guess that how much of me is replaced.
Yeah, how much of me can you replace and it still be
before
me?
It's still, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's RoboCop.
Yeah.
And that's also 100% like the teleportation question. Like,
yeah.
if a new one of me is made,
And
am I
if you
dead?
replicate every single piece
or
of
is that
me,
still me?
right.
Yeah.
Well, if I experience death, yes.
I agree.
If I am...
What if you fall asleep and are teleported?
It's the same thing.
But you didn't experience
That's like
anything,
saying,
you were
like, well,
unconscious.
if an earthquake happens and I'm asleep and I don't notice it, did the earthquake still happen? Like, yeah, if I'm annihilated while I'm sleeping, I'm still murdered.
Yeah, but you don't
But there's a version of you that wakes up thinking
Doesn't
that
matter.
you just went to sleep.
Right,
Yeah.
but I never wake up.
What if you went to sleep, your body is destroyed,
Yes.
and then reconstituted and wakes up in the same bed, and you never know?
Right.
Sal, I hate to tell you
I
this.
would never know it.
This already
Right.
happened to you.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Then I am a walking corpse.
No,
As far as I'm concerned,
You're you.
I am a ghost.
Has it changed over the past few years? Have you ever questioned
For
your
you,
reality?
I'm glad it's comforting for you guys.
But how
I
could
didn't want you to leave you, okay?
That I'm dead.
No, you're not. You're right here. You're right here. You're not going anywhere.
Our audience is like, why do they keep going back to the goddamn transporter question?
I don't want to think about it.
I'm so sick of this
I
shit.
hate this goddamn
Every
show.
episode they're talking about this.
This comic book comedy show keeps bringing up this stuff and it makes me upset. Make another dick joke about Spider-Man.
No.
Never. It's over. ComicPop 2.0. It's just this.
We're just talking about serious existential philosophical issues now.
Yeah. And laugh about it somehow. Oh, wait, we also spent about 20 minutes on 9/11. Kitty Pryde of the X-Men with her new boyfriend,
For some
Kenny.
reason.
Well, because nobody wanted to use her in the X-Men books, and Ben is like, oh, I like her. So she's
that.
dating Kenny, who used to be the butt monkey for Flash Thompson and a bully of Peter, who has been reformed.
Right.
So he's dating her, and they're together.
And he's no longer going by Kong.
No, it's Kenny.
It's Kenny.
Right.
Good. Good for you, Kenny.
Exactly. Gwen is, alive, well, and living in their house, so she's there too.
Wait, she's brought back to life.
Well, remember, she was cloned.
She's cloned. And she was also Carnage at the same time,
She
right?
was, but the Venom symbiote pulled the Carnage symbiote
Oh, that's
out.
right. It pulled the Carnage. Yeah, okay.
So according to you, she's dead.
That's right.
She is dead.
Gwen died, but we can still enjoy her adventures because look, I'm not Gwen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me.
Fine if it happens to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, and Gwen is dead. We didn't kill Gwen to get another Gwen. Gwen died, and that's a shame, right? And a tragedy. But through other people's machinations, another Gwen is alive. We're all enjoying the benefits of a new Gwen, including new Gwen. But no one killed old Gwen to get to new Gwen except for Bendis. But that's the writer, not the world we're living in.
Right.
I'm not going to commit suicide every time I need to get on a spaceship or go to Portugal. Like, I'm not going to just hop in a thing that murders me.
Here's an existential sort of question, quandary, or way to challenge your perception of things.
Right.
As to how this works. In this, you were close to acknowledging that, like, for everybody else, it is as if it's the same person.
Yes.
It is functionally
and they're treating
the
it like
same
that,
person because it's indistinguishable.
Because for them, it's a gift. They're like, we were robbed of Gwen, and now we get Gwen back. It still sucks that Gwen died, but no one's mourning her.
Right.
I think that's messed up. I think there should be a conversation, at least, where they're like, my friend Gwen died. You're here, and you are just like her in every capacity. But it doesn't negate what happened.
Well, you also think you are her.
I still carry the trauma.
And there is you are indistinguishable in every way from the genuine article.
Yes.
So if there's a thing in the world that is only true for one person,
right,
which is what her death is.
Yes.
It's only true for her.
Yeah.
Is it really true?
Yes.
Can something be true if everyone else says it's not the truth?
Everyone on Earth but you? Yes. That is a fundamental tenet of these characters. You know, that's a Captain America speech. But if everyone in the world is wrong but you, your responsibility is to plant yourself like a tree and say, no! Right. You move!
So you agree with Cap. You're Team Cap.
I am Team Cap. I'm
Yeah.
usually Team Cap.
Okay.
I do wonder if maybe some registration of powers is required. I don't necessarily agree with the freewheeling concept of Captain America, who I don't think even was advocating for freewheeling oversight for powers. He just didn't like the idea of the government bureaucracy being the end-all be-all. Also, because that also had mandatory service. I was like, no.
You had to be.
You had to be.
Yeah.
If you have powers, you must be brought into S.H.I.E.L.D. and you have to be trained. I understand that.
So you think Cap would have gone along with a registration as long as you just had to write your name down and get like a license or whatever, but you didn't actually have to do anything.
I don't know. I think Cap has a problem with people writing your names down, having the government keep that list of themselves.
That's kind of what it was.
So Peter's a whole bunch of friends, this gaggle of pals are all hanging out, and they're all going to go out. They're going to spend a day in the city. Remember, they're in Queens. And they're like, we're just going to go out and like have fun as children. Like, we haven't done that.
Go to the Museum of Natural History.
Who knows what their plan is?
Right.
It doesn't go well.
They don't get to do it.
Yeah, but that's their plan.
No kidding.
They're like, let's go. And Aunt May's like, all right, kids, you have fun. Like, call me if there's any trouble. So they leave, and Aunt May's like, and then the police arrive. And they're like, are you May Parker? You're under arrest.
What?
Because the principal immediately went to the police.
With what?
I think she's Spider-Man's aunt.
What? So they arrest her?
So they arrest her?
They brought her in for questioning. Well, because she's his legal guardian. So you tell me you just let this your child just run around with superpowers? This wanted criminal?
Interesting.
Because Nick Fury isn't around to help just make that not happen.
Oh, that's a good point.
Every time Peter Parker's name just pops up on something, Nick Fury just goes delete.
Okay.
But yeah, so
it looks like they put her in cuffs.
Yeah.
For what? On what charge are they arresting her?
I'm sorry. Do you live in America? Because that's what they do. That's like their modus operandi.
It's just strange.
If they're going to bring her down for questioning, they're going to put her in cuffs first.
Yeah. Well, what if she has powers too?
I guess in a world with people with powers.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's also the rampant
I guess harboring the fugitive would be the...
Yeah.
If she had powers, they wouldn't just send the police.
No, but this is very much like a local government problem.
I feel like if for some reason May's name came up on an APB to arrest her,
oh, I know.
Nick Fury would also be like, delete.
But he's not there.
Yeah, he's not around.
He's not around, so he can't delete it. No. The Parker family were under his protection.
Is Peter wanted for something?
I mean, no one officially dismissed any charges. It's more just like public opinion has switched for him a little bit.
Okay. But he still has there's an actual pending like case against him that he's like wanted
there's just an ever expanding file for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man stuff that like he can
like
be
stuff
associated
he, like,
with.
broke, or they just want to talk to him about and he won't reveal himself.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So they put her in a interrogation room. The detective on call sits down and chats with her about like what their life is. Like you're a widow. Your husband was shot in your house recently. You're taking care of your nephew. And she's like,
and this weird person who got reanimated.
Right, yeah. We'll get there in a minute. And so she's like, I think I want to talk to my lawyer now. And she's like, why? Why do you think you need to talk to your lawyer? Like, what's the problem? It's like, well, first of all, I was unduly detained, but we're not going to get into that. She's just like,
well, am I free to leave then?
Yeah, she's like, I think I'd like to talk to the lawyer. They're like, oh, do you think you're under arrest?
Oh, no.
And then immediately, like, the bad cop comes in, and he's like, she just goes, why am I here if I'm not under arrest? And they go, how about 25 years for aiding and abetting a fugitive from justice? And he just immediately starts yelling at her, and I'm like, okay, so Ben is getting the police procedural out of his system.
Yeah.
You're Spider-Man's aunt. Is he a mutant? Are you a mutant? Just badgering her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I want to see a lawyer. And they're like, and you've been arrested before, haven't you? And she's like, yeah, 30 years ago. Come on. And they're like, I mean, you were burning a flag on the steps of the UN. That's a pretty serious.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
She's like, oh no, we got ourselves an old school hippie. And she's just like, oh my God. So
interesting.
While she's commiserating to herself, the lights go out, and the cops immediately like, don't let her leave, and they run outside. And
she leaves.
So she leaves. She just walks out because like all the lights are out. She just looks around, and everyone's gone. She walks out the front door, and there's a ferry on the street. This is the best version of Ultimatum out there. There is a Marvel Comics event from the Ultimate Universe called Ultimatum. It's hot garbage. Mm-hmm. It is a like gore fest. It is torture porn. It's trash to the highest degree. Mm-hmm. And this book takes that concept and makes it interesting and horrifying. The idea that Magneto hits Manhattan with an effing tidal wave. Let's see what would happen. And let's see what would happen to regular people who aren't insane. Like May Parker and Peter's friends and Peter himself. And then see Peter set against the insanity of what would happen if the Manhattan of the Marvel Universe, or the Ultimate Marvel Universe, was hit by an effing tidal wave. It's like, that's really cool. And Stuart Immonen just completely annihilates this book with his talent.
Yeah, it looks great.
Just looks incredible. And there are double-page splashes like this all over this book.
Holy shit.
Wow. That's a pretty big wave.
Yeah. Okay.
So everyone in Manhattan would be dead. There would be basically no survivors, except for the few people in the skyscrapers.
That's what we're seeing. Yeah.
Damn.
So that all happens. The kids, of course, were going to Manhattan, and on their way there, they were on an elevated train. I know that we all know what the sound of an elevated train is because we have ears like an eagle. But they're on the elevated train, and in Ultimatum, there was this promise on the cover of like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man. Everybody's going to team up and they're going to fight Magneto. Mm-hmm. And Professor X like sends out a psychic signal to everybody, and he's like, Magneto did this, and we all got to meet up. We got to go to his asteroid or his hovering like Pandora-esque rock that he's on. We're gonna kick his ass, and then his neck gets snapped. But we don't know that in this book because who cares? And that book is gross. And the less we reference it, the better. But that happens. And when you read Ultimatum, you're like, hey, where's Spider-Man? Because he's on the train with the kids, and then Kitty's like, you gotta go. You gotta save as many people as you can. He's like, okay, and he leaves, and then he's not in Ultimatum. And it's like Bendis was playing ball, but also is like, but not like this. Like this. This game sucks.
Put my Spider-Man in your Ultimatum.
Well, like, you can't ruin him.
I'm going to take care of him.
Anyone who shows up in Ultimatum is irreparably destroyed. In some
Right, he saw what was coming, and he's like, no, I'm going to take my ball, and I'm going to go play with it over there.
And the like sending receiving contract will be that I will make an entire trade paperback that references and deals entirely with the aftermath of what you did. And that's welcome. Like what Bendis does. And I think it's interesting because it's like a catch-22 with Bendis because like, when Bendis is running the show, he's writing all the Avengers books and doing all the Marvel events, they all blend seamlessly together. And while they all ignore random tidbits of continuity or held aloft other elements of continuity. They all consistently work together. But then Mark Millar shows up to do Civil War, and he's got to play with that. He's like, oh man. But he still does it, but in his own way. He's doing it again here, and you could tell he's like mad about it. And doesn't want to, but eats Jeff Loeb's lunch. Because Peter is Peter, Spider-Man, 15 years old. He's a kid. He was on a trip to the city to hang out with his friends. Maybe he'll get a hand job. Suddenly, there is this apocalyptic event that has destroyed his city, and there's tens of thousands, maybe 1 million dead people just floating in the water. What is he going to do with that?
Right.
Shooting webs? I can maybe lift a car?
I can pull a few cars out of the
Manhattan's
water.
underwater. What am I going to do?
Where am I going to put it? I guess on top of a building?
Yeah, that's what he more or less does most of the time. Okay. But like, so swinging around, he's just like taking it all in. His ongoing internal monologue is just like, maybe 1 million people are dead. What am I going to do with this? What happened? Professor X was in my head. Now he's gone. They want me to go to some effing place. I don't even know where it is. I'm not going there.
I'm not doing that.
Well, I can't. And so he's just calling out to Professor X like, hey, Professor! Nothing. Like, okay.
All I could do is swing around.
Right.
I can't really travel
Are you sending
large
the jet
distances.
to get me? Like,
yeah.
All he does is he's just picking people out of the water and putting them higher places. He picks up a woman. She's like, what do I do now? He's like, I don't know.
Wait.
You know? Just
survive.
Right, exactly. Just jumps in, swings around, grabs people.
Is that Magneto with Mjolnir at his feet?
Yeah, that was the big moment in Ultimatum, was Professor X revealing that Magneto was the cause. And also he got Mjolnir. Because, you know, he can manipulate magnetic fields and can lift Mjolnir now.
Oh.
And you're like, okay.
Okay.
And I love this moment because it's just like, you have to stop Magneto. We're not going to do that, and he doesn't appear for the rest of the book.
We are going to reference the... There, see, I referenced...
I did your whole stupid big moment.
Thing, yeah.
I even redid the page.
So if he can change magnetic fields to wield Mjolnir, would Sue Storm be able to make an invisible bubble around Mjolnir and move it around?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that's dumb.
Right?
Yeah, because we're now establishing that, like, well, you could use, like, physics to move
to lift and move it.
No,
no, it should only be able to be under
It's only magic. I agree. I agree. The 616 universe is actually a little tighter about that. But anyway, so he's just grabbing people and like collecting them on rooftops and just helping them, you know. Meanwhile, in the like subway that the rest of the team was on, like the rest of the kids, Kitty's like, okay, I'm going to phase people to the roof and get them out of here. And they're immediately like, you're a mutant. A mutant might have done this. Like, you're just as bad as them. Like, I don't want your help. Fuck you.
I don't know why.
Yeah, why?
Well, and here's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily agree entirely that, like, mutants are a great stand-in for being gay. Because, like, nothing about being gay makes you a danger to yourself or others.
Right.
Like anyone who could shoot optic blasts out of their head.
Right.
But the idea that racism and bigotry is rooted in ignorance and stupidity is right on. And it's arbitrary, and it doesn't necessarily discern. It just picks whoever and then goes for it.
Yeah,
like,
just like you're in the category, that's all that matters.
Right, like, oh no, it's Daredevil. He has a radar sense, and he's my hero. And also there's Angel, and he looks like an effing angel and can fly because he has wings, but the wings are because of mutation and not radioactivity, so F him.
Right.
No, but also, yeah, that's people.
That is kind of how it goes.
And I hate it, but like, it's also real. World outside your window. So Aunt May is immediately trying to do the same thing because she's a Parker. She's like just helping people up, but she's an old woman who has a heart problem, so she's just like, so she like finds a kid, reunites the kid with her mom. May immediately finds the detective who's giving her a hard time underneath some rubble.
She's like,
helps her up.
How'd you move that rubble? I knew you were a mutant.
Yeah, no. While she's helping her, a telephone pole is about to fall on them, and Spider-Woman shows up and goes, Aunt May!
huh.
And the detective goes,
no.
Is this another one of yours?
Oh.
I mean, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know!
I can honestly say I have no idea who that is.
Right? So Kitty gets everybody off of the elevated train onto the street, helps them out, and then they immediately just scatter. And Kitty's like, you're welcome, by the way. She's like, it's fine, this is what I do. It's what being an X-Man's all about. And so, Gwen and Mary Jane help each other out. While Peter is fighting to help people, he bumps into the Hulk.
Oh.
Which is not good, because Ultimate Hulk is a massive piece of shit. And completely unhelpful. Meanwhile, the Daily Bugle staff was inevitably evacuated via helicopter to their satellite office in Dover, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
And it's yet another Dover, New Jersey reference from Brian Michael Bendis. And I'm like, you've never been there. Hey, listen, that's where the Joe Kubert School of Art is, and so that's cool.
That's a place I know.
That's exactly what it is. He's like, I know it's kind of near Manhattan. Yeah, try an hour, but away. But
the train could take me there.
Yeah, in an hour and 25 minutes.
Yep, technically the train can take you there.
Actually, you'd be better suited to take the bus because the Lakeland Hills bus line terminates in Dover. But Bendis doesn't know that because he's from the Pacific Northwest. But hey, Dover, all right. We don't actually go outside, so there's no way to prove you don't know that it's Dover. It's just kind of arbitrary and weird that the Daily Bugle in Manhattan would have a Dover satellite office.
Yeah, that's probably not where it would be. But okay.
I wouldn't put it there.
I mean, they also have one in Connecticut. They're the tri-state office.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bugle also has a spot in Walcott, Connecticut.
Yeah, not Danbury, Walcott.
Yeah.
And if they're in Rhode Island, it can be in Woonsocket.
Sure.
So, okay. In the letters page of Spawn, there is this letter from this kid. And they talk about Spawn.
Which issue?
I don't know. I don't recall.
One of them.
One of the earlier ones. But
Okay.
There is an issue of Spawn in the letters pages where a kid writes in to talk about God knows what. And in it, it is written that they are from Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And then, a few issues later, there's another letter from that kid who then tries to correct them. And in the end of their letter, they say, you know, so-and-so signed Woonsocket, Rhode Island, like in all capitals. And they were like, all right,
okay,
we corrected it for you. And like they put Woonsocket. And then I remember driving through it. I'm like, oh, it's Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Oh my God, I'm here. Where's that guy? I'm only 30 years late.
Yes, look for someone a little bit older than you.
Was it remarkable in any way?
The letter?
No, the town.
No. I mean, it looks like any town in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
You know, there is a Burlington coat factory there. And a Target. So they're on the up. Watch out, Warwick. Woonsocket is coming for you. Meanwhile, in Dover, New Jersey, J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie are there, and they're just like drying off. Ben Urich calls some girl he knows who's like, I love you! Like, I've always loved you, and I'm sorry, I never got to say it. I almost drowned in Manhattan, and blah, blah, blah. This is Ben Urich, by the way. I don't know if you know. Like, I'm like, okay, Ben.
All right.
So then,
I haven't spoken to you in like 20 years.
Millions of people are dead.
No, he's not making a joke. I think he's just like, you might not know who this is because I don't think we actually dated that long. But Jonah is talking to Robbie, and he's like, you were right, I was wrong. Robbie's like, about what? I mean, like, there's so much.
Huh.
And
you gotta
Jonah's
be
like,
specific.
Spider-Man. I'm a monster. We dug at Spider-Man. We dug our heels in and just tormented Spider-Man in the press every single day, more or less because I thought it'd be funny and it would sell papers. And I am entirely ashamed of myself.
Then we cut back to Spider-Man's like saving people.
We cut back to where Jonah was during that time.
Oh.
Jonah is like in one of the top floors of his apartment. Yeah. So Jonah's in one of the top floors of the Daily Bugle building. It is underwater.
Oh my God.
And the image of Jonah looking out through his windows to see Spider-Man diving in, and he's like, this horrible tragedy strikes my city. I have no idea what to do. And all I see is Spider-Man jumping in the water, saving people over and over, and he just doesn't stop. He just keeps saving people or grabbing people and trying to make sure if they're alive or not. Like, and all I could do is watch. I am completely ashamed of myself.
Please tell me this persists.
Yeah, this is who J. Jonah Jameson is from now on.
Good.
This is a defining moment in J. Jonah Jameson's life.
Interesting.
Good, we hit a milestone.
That's a fun.
I was like, what an ultimate version of.
Yeah, for Bendis to take from this event that he had no part in, no probably interest in.
Absolutely not.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to use it to do like a complete
180 on a character.
Yeah, which maybe he was planning to do anyway.
Right, probably is going to make J. Jonah Jameson a more sympathetic character, but I love that this is it.
Hopefully this also fixes how the public sees Spider-Man and will affect May Parker at the end of this.
It should help, yeah, definitely. May's fine. So Jonah's like, I have to write. Get me into a computer terminal. I need to write like my editorial about how I'm an asshole moron and Spider-Man's great. So he just does. And it's like...
And they're like, quick, get him a computer. We need this.
They do.
We can't let this fade.
He's just like, nah.
He can't think second time about it.
But you can also tell, like, he's just trying to focus any of his nervous energy into something because, like, he's just been through, a stressful event.
Yeah.
So then we cut back in with Aunt May and the detective, and she's like, what did you call me? Spider-Woman's like, are you okay? She's like, you called me Aunt May. No, May. And she's like, no, you said Aunt May. She's like, all right. So she picks up Aunt May and takes her away.
Yeah.
Yep. She's like, who are you? What is this?
Shouldn't she be out saving people?
She is.
She's saving May.
She went out to help
May's already saved.
May. Yeah, but like, I gotta talk to May really.
No, well, I gotta have this conversation real quick right now.
Yeah. So
really, right now?
She's just like, what is this? What happened? She's like, I don't know. Like the water just showed up. She's like, well, my Peter is in it. I need you to go find him. And she's like, okay. Like, yes, ma'am. And just leaves. Meanwhile, Peter is face to face with the Hulk, who is just kind of standing there, just looking at him, and he's like, okay, this could be bad. Like, he could freak out at any second. So essentially, through simple words and phrases, he manages to convince the Hulk to help him out, that he's the Hulk's friend. The Hulk doesn't want to do anything. The Hulk's just like, Hulk wet. Why? Spider-Man's like, I'm your friend. Come on, Hulk. Help me help people. And Hulk's like, I don't
help them.
Yeah. And Hulk's just like,
Hulk, good gorilla.
Anyway, so a woman falls and Hulk catches her, showing that Hulk is helpful. Spider-Man finds like a subway car on top of a building, and it's gonna fall over. Hulk uses his clapping move to blow it further into the, on top of the roof. Spider-Man runs up there to help it. The whole car is full of dead people, and he's like he's just demoralized until he finds the body of Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil dies?
Daredevil just dies off panel in this book.
Whoa.
Wow.
And he just finds him and he's like...
Talk about making moves.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like...
What happened?
He drowned.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard to use your sense underwater.
Yeah. He got hit by the water and died. And Pete's like, I didn't really know him. He didn't really like me. But I kind of looked up to him. Like, he knew what he was doing. I don't even know who he is. And he takes his mask off. He's like, I don't know who that is.
That doesn't help me.
And the Hulk reverts, and it's Bruce Banner. And he goes, that's Matt Murdock. He was my lawyer. And he's like, oh my God. And Bruce Banner looks around. He's like, did I do this? Is this my fault? And Pete's like, calm down. You didn't, but you're going to Hulk out again if you don't freak out. Like, if you don't shut up. And he's like, hey, listen, like, now that I'm a human again, could you do me a favor? Could you kill me?
Oh my God.
What?
And Peter's like, okay, dude, you didn't do this. Don't beat yourself up. And then he turns back into Hulk, rages out, blows, like, just destroys a building, chases after him. Pete is running away from the Hulk when he finds that the Sanctum Sanctorum has a cab through the seal of the Vishanti. So there's just pink energy shooting out of it. And he's like, oh shit, this is Doctor Strange's house, and there's a cab in it. And then
I kind of feel like maybe Doctor Strange's house would be able to defend itself.
Yeah, and then it explodes, and a bunch of like demons and shit blast out of it.
Oh my God!
Oh, like it's the ghost containment unit in Ghostbusters,
which is definitely a reference Bendis wants to make. But yeah, so demons are shooting out of it, and he's like, Hulk's there, and Hulk's like, he's like, oh,
I cannot possibly address this.
Yeah, no. So the kids make their way to a higher vantage point where they see that Manhattan is, obliterated, and there's now pink energy with demons shooting out of the city. And Kitty is just like, oh man, I hope Peter's okay. So Mary Jane punches her in the face.
Oh.
She's like, you sent him in there, and now he's gonna die. I love him so much. And Kitty's like, I love him too. And Kitty's like, cool.
Hey guys, I'm okay.
And Mary Jane's like, well, if you were so righteous, you go get him, you go find him. And she's like, you're right. So Kitty leaves. Meanwhile, 2 months ago, Pete had a zany adventure with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange invited Pete to the Sanctum, and they have a conversation about this big orb, the Orb of Akmantata, and it's made up. And I mean, they all are. But
everything's made up. Yeah,
but by Bendis, it's very made up.
Yeah.
And the orb,
he's not relying on a previous story or anything.
No. And basically, what it is Bendis says it's like a portal to the dark dimension, but he treats it like the negative zone. Because essentially, or the containment unit, because when Strange deals with entities that he doesn't want to deal with,
he just puts them here.
He throws them in the orb, which takes him to the dark dimension.
Into the orb with you.
Into the orb. Away with you!
And hopefully nothing will ever happen to it.
And that's what Spider-Man says. He goes, well, I hope nothing happens to this orb. And he's like, please, nothing can happen to the orb, okay? We're protected by the seal of Vishanti, and as long as it's intact, nothing can ever breach the spells that are protecting the orb. And
hey, you made the seal of the Vishanti out of glass.
A big window! And Pete's like, why would anyone, Pete's like, what if someone breaks it? And Wong is like, why would anyone try to do that?
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me.
So
why would someone do that? That protects us.
Right, and Strange essentially says it would have to take, I don't know, an act of God or something to break this window. And then Pete's swinging towards the now broken window, and he goes, one act of God coming up.
Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, Hulk is smashing...
That's not act of God, though.
No, that's...
Yeah, don't give Magneto the big head about that.
All right, exactly. Magneto's like, you're correct. You're welcome. So...
Puny ants.
Bendis didn't get the memo about how Doctor Strange died in Ultimatum, so... Instead of how he does die, which is Dormammu comes out and then chokes Doctor Strange to death, and on his blood, snot, and vomit, his head explodes. Because, Ultimatum is such a great book. Instead, in a better sequence, Doctor Strange just emerges from the sanctum, and he is dead. Water's pouring down his mouth. He drowned.
Oh.
But now he's being puppeted by Nightmare, who is an entity that fought Spider-Man in a previous story. And he's like, oh, it's Spider-Man. Hey, I loved being inside of you.
Oh, God.
And so Nightmare is like, you're way better. I'm going to jump into you in a minute. But first, let you see your nightmares. And then Hulk is surrounded by everyone he's ever killed, which is, according to the Ultimate Universe, thousands of people. And so they're all like, you killed us. You should kill yourself. You monster. You don't deserve to live. And Hulk's like, ah! Meanwhile, while Hulk is freaking out, Nightmare grabs Spider-Man, then shows him the Sinister Six. And he's like, oh, great. Well, you know what? I know they're not real, so it's okay. And then he gets grabbed by a Dr. Octopus tentacle and just thrown into a wall. And he's like, no, I'm out now. I'm way more powerful.
Yeah, it's like magic.
And I'm inhabiting the body of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's true. So Pete then falls into a dream. He's like, I'm more powerful in your dreams. Bitch. And so Pete awakens, and he's being woken up by Uncle Ben in the sequence that is the first appearance of Peter Parker in the original Marvel Universe.
Oh, that's fun.
But it's Ultimate Peter in that Peter's body, but it's Ultimate Uncle Ben and Aunt May. And they say the same things they did in the Stan Lee comic. Where he goes, time to wake up for school, and Pete goes, man, Uncle Ben, you're worse than a room full of alarm clocks? Why would I say that? What a weird thing to say. And Aunt May's like, I made wheat cakes, and Pete's like, what the fuck is a wheat cake?
What is going on?
I'm sorry, there are no wheat cakes in this universe?
No, Aunt May didn't make wheat cakes.
Oh, shit.
No buckwheat flour here. Pete is also dressed like him. He's got the glasses and the little vest and everything. And he goes, wait, Uncle Ben, you're dead. And then Uncle Ben has like a massive gunshot wound to his head. He goes, and you made sure of that, didn't you?
Oh. Oh.
And then he wakes up and nah. And Nightmare's still in Doctor Strange's body, like, yeah.
Like, hey,
I gotcha. I'm scary.
That wasn't real, but how about this one?
Yeah, and then like Carnage attacks, and he's like, nah. And so he's just getting his ass kicked. Daredevil shows up, punches him. He's like, you let me die.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, Spider-Woman is like, I gotta look for Peter now. So she's swinging around looking for him while he's being like picked apart. And while Nightmare is like reveling in his crapulence, Hulk sneaks up behind him and then rips Nightmare in half.
Oh.
Jesus.
Okay.
So Nightmare then retreats further into the orb that's just sitting there where the sanctum used to be. And Hulk is like, oh, no, you don't. So Hulk just like loses himself, starts smashing the orb until the orb explodes.
Oh.
That's bad.
Which solves the ghost problem or whatever.
I guess it destroys whatever ghosts were still inside of it?
Sure. We never address it again.
Where did all what about the ones that already escaped?
Smashing it would release more.
Right? No, basically what he does is he breaks like the portal between the dark dimension and here or something. I don't know.
So
you're not supposed to smash
come back
it.
Through. Right.
Yeah, and maybe it like kills the demons or someone else in the Marvel Universe can deal with the demons. I don't know. But, yeah, so that explodes, but it's a big radius, and just, Pete's swept up in it, of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be dead?
Right. Well, he is pretty
Looks
resilient.
like a nuclear bomb went off.
Exactly. And like Hulk is enveloped in like pink flame and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you get what Hulk would survive.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But then we get to this issue, which has absolutely no dialogue in it.
Oh.
The whole issue is just what happens, which is just Jessica swings over, her webs catch on fire, she falls to the ground, she finds the Hulk sees her, the Hulk chases her, then like Jessica has to outrun the Hulk until eventually the military shows up.
Oh, because now it's a Hulk book, so the military's there.
Yeah, and they see Hulk and they just start firing missiles at him, and Hulk's ah!
That's what the military needs to worry about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're like, maybe he did this. I don't know. We didn't get the psychic call from Professor
It's always
X.
the Hulk. Like, we're pretty much the military in the Marvel Universe exists to fight the Hulk.
Yeah. So Jessica goes back to the Sanctum to see if she can find any trace of Peter.
And she just can't.
And she can't, but instead she runs into Kitty. So Kitty walks up to her, and she's like, "Hey, Kitty!" And she runs up to hug her.
Oh.
And Kitty phases her out of her, like, "Get away from me." And she pulls her mask down and, like, hides her hair and is like, "It's Peter, but I'm a girl." And
I know,
like,
this
is very weird.
Weird, yeah.
So the two of them spring into action and try to save more people that are in the surrounding area until eventually rescue helicopters finally show up. And start, like, reuniting
They give
people
up
and helping
trying
them.
to shoot the Hulk and then start saving people.
And so then we just see, like, this sequence of, like, Peter, of Kitty and Jessica, like, feverishly looking around, just start screaming for Peter. Like, you can tell they're yelling for Peter.
Right, and then you see the mask.
And then this, like, one wave, like, gently rolls through with Peter's mask in it. So the mask comes into their possession, and they immediately just start screaming more.
Right.
Like, for Peter.
Right.
So then...
because he wouldn't be without his mask.
Exactly. Like, this is a bad sign.
Right.
It is like a tattered Superman cape billowing in the wind. Like, it is a telltale sign that the hero has died.
Yeah.
So then Kitty, like, walks home, or to Queens from there. Kenny, Gwen, and MJ go to Aunt May's house to explain, like, we can't find him. And then Kitty arrives, and she gives the tattered mask. And like, that's it. And I'm like, if this was the end of this series, that would be okay with me. Like, it was such a gut punch of a moment, and Marvel has clearly thrown up their hands and said, we don't care about the Ultimate Universe anymore. So I'm like, if you're done with this universe, then you might as well kill Peter and end it here. Because like, you clearly don't care. And
he died trying to save lives.
He died saving people. He did what he does. And I'm like, that's really cool. And also, like, I don't know, for me, I'm like, yeah, that is Spider-Man.
And for the issue to be entirely wordless...
I know. Which is like, wow, I can't believe
what can
that
you say? You can't.
Yeah.
That actually gives me goosebumps.
I know, it's a real incredible book. And the other reason why I'm like, I could have ended it here is because it was so good. Like, because it was so well executed, I was like,
right.
I'm
That's
okay
a
with
fit-in last issue.
This is so good, how could it be better? And it is still incredibly great. Spoilers, Peter doesn't die in this.
Here.
Right.
But, you know, but you believe he could.
Right. You're like, he could be dead. That could be it. That's a kind of issue you would do if he was dead.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Like
So
a special issue.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Kitty gives the mask to Mary Jane. Aunt May collapses, and Mary Jane just looks at it. It's just so good. Ugh.
Oof.
What a great series. And what a great volume. Just Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimatum. Such a good series. And this tricks you into thinking, man, Ultimatum is really good. And you read it and you're like, oh no. Well, that sucks.
Why is it not at all like this?
And this also sucks, but this had better impact.
You can imagine maybe there was a conversation. I don't know. I would love to ask, like, was there a conversation? Because, like, when they were killing people in Ultimatum, it was like, we killed Daredevil and Doctor Strange and Wasp and, you know, Magneto and Wolverine and everybody. Like, maybe we'll kill Spider-Man too. Like, I can imagine.
Maybe we'll kill the most popular one.
I mean, we killed every most popular character from each's franchise, except for Fantastic Four, which I don't even know why. Like, when they did so many weird things to the Fantastic Four after that.
Right.
Which might as well have killed them. It was just such a weird thing, where I'm like, maybe Bendis is like, no, I'll kill him.
So after this, I assume like everyone's very anti-mutant.
Oh yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's
that
a
becomes like a major plot point.
It's not a major plot point because that's not what a Spider-Man book is.
Well,
like, as far as they're concerned, like, yes, people are still upset about mutants.
But even more so now.
Certainly. I mean, yes, everyone lost someone they love or died in Ultimatum. In the regular world.
What do they like? What's Spider-Man's day-to-day life like after this?
Yeah,
the city's destroyed.
I know. They have to like clean up. It's just clean up.
cleanup.
Yeah, but they have damage control, which is like, a super duper construction company.
And also like changing economy, businesses have been down.
I mean,
it's
like
true.
Manhattan wouldn't exist anymore.
No, Manhattan is destroyed. It's like razed, basically.
Yeah.
The part that isn't flooded was exploded by demons and shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they square that circle, except to say that they do.
Yeah.
They
when and how do the waters recede?
Right?
Yeah. They're like, we rebuilt. Like, you rebuilt, it would take you decades.
Yeah.
Do you know how
but
long
Iron Man doesn't exist in your reality, so we did.
Okay.
Do you know how long it would be just for the mold remediation alone?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, I know.
Just the demolition of the city would take years.
Yeah. Right. You're not going to build up a building that was drowned.
Yeah.
That building is destroyed. Its structural integrity is compromised.
Yeah. I mean, the buildings in New Orleans were flooded by a fraction
of this.
But, up to, 1 floor or something.
Yeah.
And it's a complete loss.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deal with that.
It's done.
For the most part. Like, some of them they salvaged, but they had to strip them to the studs.
Yeah.
These are steel structures. Like, you'd have to completely, like, some of them are knocked over.
Yeah.
They were flooded to like the 15th floor or something.
Yeah.
Like it's a total loss. The whole city's a total
Bridges
loss.
are collapsing.
Yeah.
Bridges. Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
You'd have to go into another dimension and find a Manhattan that was like overrun with zombies.
Yeah.
And then just take that reality, shake off the zombies, and then just overlay that city onto yours.
No, you just create a cure.
Right.
Yeah.
And the cure is a hydrogen bomb.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good point, right? The hydrogen. They did rebuild the cities that were bombed, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But like, it took a while, though.
It did take a while.
It's not like overnight.
No, but they don't do it overnight. They don't forget this event happened.
Right, but I assume.
But there are still buildings.
A year
that
later,
Spider-Man
he's
swings
swinging
through.
around.
Oh yeah.
I guess Franklin Richards could just snap his fingers.
He's not in this.
Yeah, not in here.
He doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Good. Not here.
Yeah.
Reed and Sue would have to be together for that to happen.
That is wild.
I know. Completely wild. And like handles it with grace and dignity, but also raises further questions.
This is also a situation where you're just like, maybe we don't need Peter. Maybe we can just have Jessica.
Right? Yeah, it does.
Like, she's still alive at the
Are
end.
setting up the replacement?
I mean, maybe, like there she is. She's doing her thing. She's got a cool costume.
Yeah.
And people are here to see what happens to Kitty and Aunt May and Mary Jane. Like, would you read that? I mean, people read 4 Superman books that had no Superman in them for like a year.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, where's Superman, though?
Yeah, but
I was like,
you are going to stop doing this at some point.
I would hope, or cancel the books at least. So you have an Ultimatum, Spider-Man, the best thing that came out of this awful dog shit event. We'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading.
No punches pulled.
Oh, this is what you do.
No,
the last
okay.
5 minutes, no words.
Yes, just a wordless episode.
Just like Bendis did.
Yeah. Well, no, we can just look at our phones. I ruined it.
Couldn't even make it 10 seconds.
You know me.
He's got a hair trigger.
He's just nervous. If no one's talking, Sal can't handle it.
No. All right. And one more for Sal.
I don't know why you did this.
That's the Wolverine move.
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean?
Your hand was flat.
Me. Yeah, I was like,
and I give you 5.
I'm sorry.
thank you. I'm leaving you. Enjoy my baby.
It's over.
Wolverine doesn't do kids.
It's true.
Yep.
You don't want.
Yeah, he found the Hulk baby, just like,
Oh,
no, I gotta drop this someplace. I can't.
He was like, this is karma for all those other babies.
For all those other babies.
I'll take it.